Hello everyone and welcome back to Cowabunga Corner. In this episode, I am talking about the TMNT 2014 movie that came to theaters on August 8th. This movie is a whole new spin on the Ninja Turtles, and I mean, whoa, spin. But what have we been going through? Whoa, spins on every universe of the Turtles so far, but this one takes chances and risks that, well, one of the most important things to remember before I go into a full review of this movie is that when Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird drew the first Turtle, they were laughing about it. They were laughing. This wasn't just, oh my God, we made a gold mine. This wasn't, oh, it's the most brilliant idea in the world. We love it. We're passionate about it. No, it was a joke. It was a joke that they can laugh about. So when we start taking it as serious as we are, we're forgetting the main core behind the original Turtles. It was a joke. If you stop and look at the original volume of Mirage and look at all the different character designs and how drastic they could go, we're talking from Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird's traditional style, which is what most of us adore, love, and feel is closest to the original cartoons, the old movies, the 4Kids series. That's the one that a lot of people grow very close to. For public, some of the alternizations that we've seen and the mass production has been the designs for the Coming Out of the Shells tour, where they don't even have shells, or the Next Mutation, where they completely changed the plastrons, musculared them up a little bit, and put those strange bandanas on them. But if you're following the comics, let's talk about Twilight of the Ring, where the Turtles' faces are ovals. I originally hated the design in that, but now it's one of my favorite issues. I look at the different designs in the old comic books, and when I first saw them, they were a shock factor. This isn't the design of the Turtles that I know and love. Why are they in this story? And then I look at Eastman and Laird and realize that they were able to express themselves through their original design. They want others to be able to express it. And they're not sitting here going, we're serious about this product. We're so deadpan serious that we can't have fun. They're sitting there going, this was a joke for us. Let's see what others can do with it. And the most drastic, the biggest change that you could find inside the original comics goes to Michael Zulli. You look at his artwork, they got those sharp beaks going for them. It is totally different, and that's the aspect that I'm looking at now and saying it matches up to this new movie. The movie doesn't have beaks, true. It really does not have beaks. These turtles have lips, nostrils, but they don't have beaks. And the reason for this is because they are doing this motion capture stuff, and when people get their hands on those fancy toys, they want to be able to use them. And sometimes it's good, where you can push those limits, and sometimes when you're playing with toys, you can push a little bit too far. And when you push too far, there's going to be the people going, ooh, look at what they're doing! And there's going to be the people going, why? Why did they do that? Right now, we got column A and column B going for Turtles. Why did they do that? And, ooh, I like this. It's more realistic. And da-da-da-da-da. And I'm going, oh. Lips and nostrils? No! Yeah, so the designs of the Turtles, if anything, I don't like them. I really am not hooking on to these steroids, over big, don't look like teenagers, nose, lips, turtles that look like they're a cross between Voldemort and Shrek, and they're related to the Battletoads. It's not my cup of tea. But just because I don't like the designs doesn't mean I won't like the story. When you're going into a movie, you want something that is fluent, that goes all the way through the film for a reason. And you want the lead characters to have a reason to be there. Not just have it, oh, we're doing this, and then throwing them in as the side characters to where The story has nothing to do with them, but they're going to jump into the fight anyhow, which is something we've had before. Now the new storyline is the Turtles' origin. We have April trying to find out about the Turtles. She meets the Turtles, she leads the bad guys to the Turtles, they have their epic battle, and voila, they save the day. But they have a reason to be there. The Foot is after them. Like the Turtles too, the Foot is after them. They are the goal of the Foot. And so the story is centered around the Turtles, and it's a full story all the way through the movie. It is not to where the Turtles are helping somebody else the entire time. They have a reason to be in the fight, and they're going to kick butt and take names. And that is what makes this movie, to me, have some value to it, because it has a storyline. Now, what it also has that brings some value to it is it has our characters. I was scared. I would admit this. Like everyone else, I've been on the edge of my seat. I've met a lot of people throughout these years of the movie being worked on. I've heard things here or there, and one of the things I've heard from people who've worked on the movie is that if you are a fan of the Turtles, you will most likely not like this movie. I don't like that. I don't want to be told that I'm not going to like this movie. I want to go into a Ninja Turtle movie I can like. And when you're being told this over and over and over again, you get scared. For me, my fear comes from Avatar: The Last Airbender. I love that cartoon series. I watched it on TV. I bought the DVD box sets. I got some of the toys. It's a fantastic series that Nickelodeon did. The animation is beautiful. The character growth is outstanding. The storyline is so fantastic that you're sitting there just absorbed trying to find out how they're going to wrap it up. They did such an amazing job on that show. And then they got a movie coming out, and that movie is showing images of this fantastic Appa and Momo, and you just look at the scenery, and you look at that Aang. Aang looks like Aang. This movie is going to be, it is going to be eye candy with everything you want, and then you go and see the movie, and you fall into silence. M. Night Shyamalan destroyed that movie. Destroyed that movie. He changed characters' names. He changed the lead character, Aang, and everyone. He just took that movie, threw it into a blender. He didn't change the designs too much to where you're sitting down going, oh, it doesn't look like it, like what we're getting with Turtles. I'd rather the designs be changed than the characters and the story. He made it so I never want to see that movie again. So now we're looking at the characters inside the new Turtle movie, and I'm asking, did Michael Bay's movie or Jonathan's movie do that to the Turtles? And the answer is no. I don't mind April. I don't mind the Turtles themselves. I feel, yeah, they're a little bit off because instead of taking out the personalities that we know them for, they're forcing it down their throats. Yeah, Raph is more the big brute type guy, but his personality kind of reminds me of some of the characters in the movie Where the Wild Things Are. And then we have Leonardo, who isn't fleshed out nearly enough. Okay, he's the leader. He's the assigned leader in this movie. But that doesn't make it to where we're sitting there going, yes, we know and understand Leo. Instead, we're sitting down going, yeah, he's there. He's Leonardo, but they needed to do more on it. And then Donatello was over-geekified. Over-geekified. Glasses over his bandana. And then you got all that technology on his shell, which really did not have much use there. We don't know if that technology was supposed to work with the stuff in the wristband that he was using here and there. But he had this horrible proton pack from like Ghostbusters on his shell for no reason whatsoever, which magically appeared on his shell after he escaped the containment unit. You see him putting his goggles back on, but you never see him actually have time to put that thing back on his shell. He didn't have it on him when he was in the cage. So, and of course you have the snort and his laugh as he's going down the hill, and he has that slow motion scene where he sends the truck. He actually snorts during that scene. They geekified him way too much. They just, okay, Don's the geek, so let's make him a geek. And then there's the scene where his shoulders are up like this while he's talking to April for no reason. They took the character that we knew him for and they forced it down his throat completely. Michelangelo was pure comic relief, and Mikey's comic relief in this movie was actually his romantic feel for April. Oh, there is one line in this movie that's so inappropriate for a Turtle movie. I'm actually not a fan of that Mikey says, and that's about his shell getting tight. There's a lot of him flirting and pushing product placement with his orange crush. And it's not just, oh, I have orange soda hiding behind the fridge, it's orange crush. And, you know, he's got to make sure his can is right there. The can was enough, but actually saying out orange crush out loud was a little bit more product placement than needed there. And Pizza Hut, you know, they were just really in there. I like how Domino's did it in the first movie, where it's a Domino's delivery guy just bringing the pizza. There's product placement inside a movie done right. And this one, you know, it is Pizza Hut. All the way to where they're saying it. April has to say it's Pizza Hut pizza that she's feeding to her little turtles. I guess they're paying for the movie. But the product placement was a little forced on there. And then there's Splinter. Splinter's design is, well, the ugliest Splinter we've really seen in the movies. But at the same time, you know, he's a rat. Who says rats are supposed to be attractive? Monk's voice throws me off. Oh my God, I'm sitting there watching the movie and I'm like, I hear Monk. Monk should not be living in a sewer. I'm sorry, Tony. I love your acting. I've seen you in several different movies. I've seen you in Galaxy Quest and everything. But Splinter? And it's not understood completely why Splinter is the way he is. The movie's not to where the characters are dead set what we know. But is anything of Ninja Turtles dead set to what we know right now? They're all doing this revamp the Turtles' origin stories. Well, this is the origin story of the movie, which kind of slightly matches up to IDW. Not exactly. April names the Turtles in IDW working at the lab, but she is not a little kid. In this, she's a little kid and she names them and they get to grow up. In IDW, she names them and then they grow up in 1 year. So there's a little bit of a difference there, but it's still the April and Lab naming Turtles and knowing Turtles and Splinter before they mutated. With the new movie, it's all rushed, and you could tell that there are several scenes cut. Wasn't there supposed to be a turtle in a trench coat in this movie? Don't I have the action figure for that? Why do I have the action figure for that? I don't understand what happened there. We saw the pictures of the making of that scene, and voila. Why was things forced the way they were in different areas? There is so many sharp cuts on this movie that you just know they were also walking their fine line, realizing they were changing so much, they were trying to force in so much comedy of other environments. Tonight, I dine on turtle soup. So many different things, the pizza on the head, just so that they can keep the old school feeling like we're being nodded to, while they're making the Turtles completely different. Bulletproof, muscular, just not completely themselves. It's not easy sitting there staring at those faces and thinking these are Ninja Turtles. To me, these faces that they have for the Turtles, this design right here is just so not them. Not them at all. At the same time, the personalities were there enough to where they were working off each other. You had your action and stuff to where it is a turtle movie. This design is just not working for me. That is the problem for me. The characters, as I was mentioning, they're there. And because of this, I do enjoy the movie. I've seen the movie 4 times now. I went to it 3 times before August 8th even, and then I went to it again with friends during the weekend. I sit there, I laugh, I enjoy the movie. I can let my guard down and not take them seriously because they were made as a joke. And when we start taking the fandom and the characters too seriously and overanalyzing it, we're going to find 1,000 reasons to hate anything and everything made. Nothing is flawless in the Ninja Turtle universe. Nothing. Not even the Mirage comics. As a child, I hated the Mirage comics because by the time I got into it, every issue was a guest writer and a guest artist, and it changed all the time. So there was a flaw in the Mirage Volume 1 for me when I was younger. And then there was turning around and saying, oh my god, I love the original cartoon series. You go and watch that. There are so many flaws in that series, you don't even have to sit down and explain it. People are telling me not to be too kind to this. Tell you if it's bad, it's bad. I can't say if it's bad or good for you because my reaction is different than everybody else's that I've watched. My second time in the theater seeing the movie, I was watching the crowd more than I was watching the movie. I had a full theater dressed up in Ninja Turtle clothing from little kids all the way to adults, and I wanted to see their reactions. This wasn't just a small crowd, it was a lot of people. And I saw more laughter, more smiles, more people walking out of that movie pumped and excited. And I saw a handful of people walking out of that movie pissed. And yes, pissed. I know people who are sick just even thinking about this film because it is not what they walked in wanting. I walked in with low expectations and met something that I could enjoy. It was better than my expectations. But some people are looking for the potential that that budget could have had to bring us a story that we could enjoy. And a new origin story was not what people really wanted. And April O'Neil taking up the first 20 minutes or more of the movie, really not what we wanted. So when they went in there, they had high expectations to see a movie. But when the designs came out, when they found out who the cast was, those expectations still being that high, still going, okay, we love the Turtles so much, and we're taking this very serious, we want to go in there and see what we're looking for, then yeah, they're going to come out not happy. We really want something that we can love, and they're looking for their favorite characters to be there and center, and they're looking for that family relationship with the Turtles. So it depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for the action, you're not going to be disappointed. You will not be disappointed if you're looking for the action. It's there. You got your fight scenes. You got your Shredder. You got 3 battle scenes with Shredder. You got Shredder versus Splinter. You got Shredder versus Raph. And then you have Shredder versus all 4 Turtles. It's way more fight scenes with Shredder you will ever see in any of the earlier movies. Where Shredder had a fight scene in the first movie and a fight scene in the second movie. In this movie, you actually have Shredder fight scenes. And so if you're looking for action, it's there. If you're looking for comedy, it's there. If you're looking for the characterization of having some family time and actually being themselves, it's not there. And this is one of the areas that I think kind of hurts the movie for me. It is like, okay, Splinter was just beaten up real bad by the Shredder. Yes, the other Turtles are caught, but there are 2 of them down there with Splinter. Splinter's, you got to save your brothers. Raph knows he's got to save his brother. Now, in any other version of the Turtles, in a situation like this, Raph would have asked April to watch over Splinter. He would not have left Splinter alone down in the lair. He would have done something about it. Instead, April offers a ride, and they leave Splinter alone. April has other friends that she's been telling about this, that she could have said, I trust my roommate, maybe she can help keep an eye on Splinter so Splinter's not alone. There was no second thought on, are we going to leave Splinter alone? And because of that, Splinter is left alone through most of the entirety of the end of the movie. While he's laying there dying, he's left alone. Where's the compassion? Where is the love? Where is the family bond there when they're willing to leave somebody dying alone? And that was a problem. If they wanted April involved, they should have had somebody else down there with them, or they should have had her suggest somebody to watch over Splinter, because that just did not feel like something that would happen in the other films. It feels like it was a huge gap and personality trait right there. There are so many other areas where you can fill those gaps where something is missing. And for me, the worst mistake in this movie, the thing that just, it's the part that reminds me of Where the Wild Things Are, is the speech from Raphael at the end of the movie. The full entirety of the speech. No. I can see that speech coming from Leonardo in some of the areas out there, where he's the one who feels like he's being all strict and leader-like because he doesn't want to let his brothers down. But that's not Raph. And that speech, every time I watch it and every time I see it, I just want to reach up there and delete that speech from the movie, because for me that is the biggest thorn in the side of that movie. It just really fell out of place. And I hear people in the audience laughing so hard during that scene, and I'm just sitting there going, this is pathetic. This ain't Raph. This is the part where I didn't like in Where the Wild Things Are, and they had a lot of it in the movie Where the Wild Things Are, and now I got that scene in a Ninja Turtle movie. At least it's short. At least it's just this one scene where they're falling down, but it's like the final main part of the fight, and there's just so many questions left open. They didn't wrap up the storyline with the humans. You don't find out if Eric and the Shredder are arrested. You don't find out what the humans are doing about the foot now being right out in the open in front of them. There's no news story that wraps it up to say this is what happens. And normally we get a little bit of closure from the outside world. New York just had this huge experience. It ends with the Turtles at their van instead of having some kind of closure to what happened publicly. It just didn't feel right. I love it that they got the song Happy Together in there. I love it that Mikey's singing it. That's sung by the Turtles, Flo and Eddie. Originally, it's a song I grew up with. It's one of my favorite songs from my childhood. I have a lot of personal, close memories of that song with my family. So seeing it inside the Turtle movie, yes, I love that. I think it was fantastic. I wanted more closure. I wanted closure for the public, and we didn't get that. That was like cut. There are so many cut things in this movie. So if you're going into the movie thinking it's going to be serious, this is going to be a full-fledged Ninja Turtle movie that we love and adore, that's going to be just like the others. No, this is not the other Turtle movies. This is something where you walk in, it's got to be something new. It's got to be something more action and a comedy, and that's what they're doing here. And then they give us this serious look of the Turtles that just does not fit them. But this is what they were going after. I enjoy the movie. I will see the movie several times. I will buy the Blu-ray, 3D, DVD when it comes out. Do I love the movie as much as the originals? The first three movies will always be my favorite. You can't top them, especially if you're going into this movie and making the movie all about the effects. If you're going in taking all this eye candy, movie magic action and making that the plot of the storyline, so you can make the Turtles bulletproof or make them bigger and scarier than ever and have more facial expressions than ever. If that's what this movie is about to you, you're putting that as the main focus of the movie, and you're never going to top the original movies. The original movies was able to bring us the Turtles that we knew. They were able to bring us a very realistic looking design to where in 1990 we walked in staring at these turtle costumes going, you believe they're real. They could be real. They got these amazing expressions. You know they're costumes, but it doesn't pull you out of the movie to watch. You can be pulled in. And the story was able to stay something that we could actually adapt to, that had the family as a family, and it wasn't about the effects. And the Turtles were what I originally loved them for. They were just freaks of nature where they looked different. And that's what made them freaks. They were still just like the rest of us. If they were hit by a bullet, they were going to be hurt. They were stabbed, they're going to be hurt. Yeah, their shells are harder. The shells, yeah, that's understandable. But to turn it around and announce, we're bulletproof, they're not superpowers. And what I loved about the Turtles growing up is that they didn't have superpowers, and that inspired me to stand up for myself. So if you're going in there looking for our old classic stuff, you're not going to find it. It's a new flashy movie that's made for entertainment, not made for the deep values that came from the original movies. Do I recommend this movie? I recommend this movie to those who are not going in holding on to the past turtles in their hearts too tightly. I recommend it for the people who can take the turtles as a joke. To the people who can go in there and look at the expression of the children watching it and realize that this movie is made for them and not us. I recommend it to the people who want to see action sequences more than family relations. I do not recommend this for those fans that are going to just go in there and hate on the movie. If you know you're going to hate this movie before going into it, don't bother. Some people went in there wanting to like it. I was with some friends who really wanted to like the movie, and they walked out, and one of my friends dropped in his knees, basically going, it was different. And I guess the best way of saying this is their theme song for this movie is a warning. Boom, boom, you're about to get shell-shocked. Yeah, going into that movie, you could be shell-shocked by what you're walking out on. And they end up really not liking the movie. They didn't like the forced product placement. They didn't like the characterizations. They didn't like the story. They didn't like how choppy edited it was. They didn't like the motions of the camera. It didn't fit them. You're going to have to judge for yourself. I will see the movie many times because I can take it as it's its own universe, and I will always have my original movies. And they can't take that from me. And because of that, I could deal. It's not my favorite. Never could with these designs. But it is still a turtle movie that I am willing to give a bit of a chance to. And the question is, are you? So what do you think of this movie? Are you on the fence of you despise the movie and wish it was never made? Are you sitting like I am going, well, I see all of the thousands of flaws in this movie, but I also see that there is potential that it's got some comedy and light that you can enjoy as well, and the action sequences are very good. I actually liked it was Michelangelo's idea in the fight scene that helped decide how to take the shredder down. I like that. I thought it was pretty cool. And Leonardo just went with it. There was no questions. Are you sure? Leonardo realized where Mikey was going with that and said, yeah, let's do it. And then, or are you completely in love with this movie? Do you think that there's no flaws? And if you think that there's no flaws, what is your thoughts of the other movies? Do you see where I'm talking about with the relationships not being as thick as they could be, or the character development to where that rap speech did not fit? Or are you just going in there and saying, because it's turtles, I love it? What is your thoughts on this movie? Please share it in comment sections on cowabungacorner.com. And I will interact. I would be happy to discuss and debate with people. In fact, what I'd love to do is get some turtle fans on a video with me and debate this movie with somebody who completely loves the movie and somebody who completely hates the movie, as long as it's left as a friendly debate and everyone realizes that we're never going to change anyone's opinions about the film. Everyone has their own opinions, but we can share ours and find out where the other people are coming from. And that's something that I'd be interested in doing with turtle fans. It's something that could be really, really fun. Let's see if I'm able to get some turtle fans together to actually put that into motion. I will be around to do a lot more reviews on this movie, maybe tearing apart some of the different scenes that I didn't like, or really pointing out some of the scenes that I loved. But my overall reaction is that this movie is fun, and I want to see it again and again and again. But I want to see the original movies way more than I want to watch this movie. I will wear shirts with the original movie turtles on it way more than I will wear shirts with these turtles on it. The designs, no. But hey, I love the fact that there is a new movie and that the fans can go around and actually see turtles on billboards and buses and bus stops, and they're everywhere right now, and everyone's talking about turtles. I love that. I don't care if the people are debating with me back and forth or if they're on the same turns as me. I do love that because it's so much fun to have so many different people to talk to right now. And we haven't had that in a while. So I'm enjoying the overall atmosphere of what's going on. Are you? With so much to talk about with this movie, there is going to be a lot more footage and stuff from me on the film, and I know others are also sharing their reviews, so make sure to check around for different people's thoughts on the movie and see what they think as well, because not one of us can answer how all of us are going to feel, because we all only know how we feel. I will catch you next time here on Cowabunga Corner with lots more reviews on the films, comics, cartoons, toys, whatever Ninja Turtles. I will talk about it. I'll let you know if I like it, dislike it, what I like and what I don't like about it. Everything is dissected. Everything is fun. And all I'm here is to have fun in the fandom, because this is just entertainment. And it's here to try and make us happy. If we take it too seriously, it can't work, because nothing pleases everyone. Catch you next time here at Cowabunga Corner.